We are live.
All right, very good. Thank you, and welcome everyone to this special City Council meeting of the City of Crescent City, June 24th, 2021. Mayor Pro Tem Inscore and filling in for Mayor Greeno, who's not able to join us this evening. So we'll call this meeting to order, and I'll ask our clerk if you would please call the roll.
Yes. Councilmember Altman.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Inscore.
I am here. And if you would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to have our general public comment period. Any member of the audience is invited to address the City Council on any matter that is on or off our agenda. No, comments of public interest are allowed. Note, however, that we are not able to undertake extended discussion or act on non-agendized items. Those items may be referred to staff for future action, which could include being placed on a future agenda. All comments need to be directed towards the entire council. They need to be in one of the forms that we have provided through this Zoom or for email or through calling in, and we'll give you that number in just a moment. Any comments that are not in those forms will not be part of the public record. After receiving recognition from myself, if you would please state your name and tell us your residency, whether you live in the city or the county, and take 3 minutes, if you would, on your public comment. And remember, we will provide public comment on each item that we take action on tonight. If you want to email us, you can email at publiccomment@crescentcity.org. If you are watching on YouTube and you would like to call in to our meeting, the phone number is 253-215-8782. And you'll have to enter the webinar ID, which is 837-8403-2478. For those of you who are joining us in our Zoom meeting, if you would hit the raise hand button, we will call upon you and give you an opportunity to share your public comment. Do we have any public comment this evening?
I don't see any hands raised, Mayor Pro Tem.
All right. Did we receive any emails?
There's been no emails.
Very good. Then we will close public comment and we will move on with our agenda. The first items are all on our consent calendar, which includes the revisions to the list of proposed local streets project for the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017, better known as SB1, and the adoption of the approved pool fees effective July 5th, 2021. Is there any public comment on either of the items that are on consent? Seeing no public comment, we'll close public comment and I'll bring it back to the council for action on these items.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar. Sorry.
I have a motion from Councilmember Smith. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
A second from Councilmember Wright. Clerk, would you please poll the vote?
Yes. Councilmember Altman.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Inscore.
Yes. Very good. We have one item on continuing business. It is the Front Street Storm Drain Project notice of completion, which will also include authorizing city manager to sign a change order and then to file this. Mr. Olson, it's good to see you this evening. Walk us through closing out this project.
Excellent. Well, it's with great pleasure that I'm here before you this evening. Two action items are change order 12, which is just a balancing change order, basically, you know, making sure that all of our quantities are matching and we can zero out the project. Also looking for authorization to for the city manager to sign and file the notice of completion for the Front Street storm drain project. Really excited about having the F Street piece open. Everything's closed out, looking good. The bottom line is we came in on time and budget. Even with the additional funds, nearly $1 million that were given to us midway through the project, we were able to spend those dollars on the portion of F Street to get that finished up. It looks like we're going to finish the project with approximately $80,000 in reserve. So unfortunately, that means we will be sending a little bit of money back to the state. But overall, having added nearly $1 million to the project in the middle of it, I'm pretty pleased with that. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about the work.
All right. Council, questions for Director Olson? I don't have any questions, just a comment that this has been an amazing project. To see Front Street, the transformation of Front Street, that's sort of the visual about how important this project is. But as we get through and get into winter, the storm drain project piece, I don't think that we are really going to appreciate just how important this project was, and the addition of the F Street piece until we get through winter. For those of us who've been here long enough to deal with the flooding and all those things. And let's face it, sending money back to the state, there's a part of that doesn't feel right. But on the other hand, the flip side of saying we're going to come back to the council and ask us for $80,000 versus saying we came in under budget, I can live with the sending money back. So
I would just like to add one thing, and that's kind of the next phase of the project, which we're anticipating receiving money this coming fiscal year for. It would finish up F Street all the way up to the Sheriff's Department along 5th. So we're excited about entering that next phase of the project also.
Awesome. All right.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could, like you say, we've lived this project a long time, and I just want to publicly acknowledge the work Director Olson, his team did, working with Tidewater contractors as well. They were great on this project. Front Street had a ton of unknowns, and they worked with Director Olson and his team. They worked through those things. We're able to process the change orders, but they got this project done. And like you say, it's 80,000, within 80,000 of the approved budget of a $5 million project. That's a little over 1% on a project of this magnitude. So hats off to John and his team. They did an outstanding job, and it wasn't easy. And all those little nuances of working through a construction project to get to this point, definitely accolades. Exciting things to come with the next phase of F Street. We have plans for the outfall piece, right, which we're still working on. So that's another component. Then you have that next phase of Front Street. So great work, and also lots of good work to come. So exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Weir. And with the ever-changing process by which CDBG is working, the having all those designs and those components available, we're going to be able to apply for shovel-ready projects whenever those windows open up. So kudos to the team for positioning ourselves for the future.
And I will just say one more thing, because we're fortunate to have an audience member with us tonight, and that's Michael Young. Mike was a huge part of this project when we first applied for this. He was interim city manager when we actually made this application, a big part of this design team. And so also, Mike and his work was a big part of this coming to fruition.
Absolutely. All right. Any public comment? All right, then what I'm looking for is a motion to authorize the city manager to sign change order 12 and to file the notice of completion.
I'll make that motion to authorize the city manager to sign change order 12 and authorize the city manager. Oh, and two separate motions?
No, they can go together.
And authorize the city manager to sign and file notice of completion for the Front Street storm drain project.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, would you please poll the vote?
Yes. Councilmember Altman,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Inscore.
Yes. Awesome. All right. We have 2 items on new business. The first is the Del Norte County Healthcare District proposal for the sponsorship of swim lessons. Mr. Weir.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Inscore. So we have Michael Young, who is also a director on the Healthcare District Board. We have Holly Went with us tonight. So actually what I'd like to do is turn it over to Mike. He can talk a little bit about the board action that was taken, and then Holly can chime in about the operations and how that might go. So 2 actions that we're looking for from the council, though. One would be a budget adoption per resolution, and then also directing staff to start advertising for this program, and then implementation July 19th is when we could officially start it. So those are the 2 actions. With that, Mr. Young.
Okay, am I on?
Gotcha.
Okay, great. Well, as Eric said, I'm on the Healthcare District Board. Some of you may or may not know about the Healthcare District. Sometimes there's some confusion with the Healthcare District in Sutter Coast. We are totally separate entity. We are a special district, a countywide special district whose function is healthcare issues in the community. The district was originally formed back in the 40s when they built Seaside Hospital. And the district operated that hospital for a number of years until they contracted with Sutter Coast, and then of course the Sutter Coast building and the like. But the district continues on and continues on working on issues dealing with healthcare for the community. And for the past few years, we've had a number of issues that we've been dealing with. I think we're moving into a new phase now where we want to reach out and start becoming more involved directly in some programs within the communities or encouraging some programs. We have limited staff. We have 5-member board, all volunteers, all elected and volunteer in that sense, and 1 half-time staff member. So we're usually looking to collaborate with somebody doing something that encourages better health and improves the health of the community or the individuals within the community. And so that's basically our function in life, and we prefer to do it by collaboration. As an example, some of the things that we've been involved in, while we do not run the Open Door Clinic at North Crest and Washington Boulevard, the Open Door Clinic runs that. We own the building, we lease it with them, we provide those facilities and all to them. We also provide scholarships, high school, nursing at CR and the like in support of healthcare. We're starting to look at this year doing a more comprehensive healthcare needs assessment of the community so that we can better prioritize some of our funds in the future. And one of the things we wanted to get started and want to get our feet in the water, so to begin with, almost literally in a sense. And one of the things that we came up was the swimming lessons and its relationship to healthcare. Knowing how to swim provides for prevention of accidents, drownings. And this is a water community. We have commercial fishing, we have recreational fishing, and people, of course, enjoy the ocean and the river. Not to mention that swimming is good, healthy exercise. And so it's something we can support. And so the thought was, why can't we encourage people to learn how to swim? And to do that, what we're suggesting, what we're offering, and what we would hope that the city council would collaborate with us on, is that we would provide for free swimming lessons. And by how we would handle free swimming lessons is that the city would promote the program that is a collaborative effort between the healthcare district and the city, and that for group lessons, there's not individual lessons, but group lessons, the lessons would be free. The healthcare district, however, will pick up and pay to the city whatever the normal fees would have been had you collected those fees from the individuals as opposed to allowing them to come in free. And so you would keep a record of how many persons take the lesson on a monthly basis or whatever basis. We can work that little detail out later. We've also are willing to include several $1,000s included in there to have the city promote in the community the fact that group swimming lessons would be for free on a joint effort between the city and the healthcare district. The healthcare district board adopted their 2021-22 budget Tuesday night, $1,000 towards this program. About $5,000 for promotion, $40,000 for as a contribution to you to recover what would be supposedly your lost revenue, if you want, what the fees would have been for those swim lessons. How we came up with that number was that in your last full year prior to the COVID year, your lessons for groups came up to around 38,000. And so we increased it a bit, recognizing that that if the lessons are free, there will be people that take advantage of it. And I don't mean that in a bad sense. Take advantage of it in the sense that they may not have been able to afford to send their children or others to take lessons that would now take lessons because they can for free. If this program is so successful that we have to go beyond that amount, I'm sure that we would, the board would allocate. Hopefully, the thing is successful enough that this is something we can continue on for more than this year. But at this point, this is a one-year program, which would be through the year present budget year. I don't know what more to say. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them. All we're asking on your part would be: 1, promote it; 2, limit it to group how many lessons that you provided. And that's additional reporting. It's not really additional reporting because you're doing it already just for your own information of how many lessons. That's why I know how much revenue that you acquired, because you have records of it. They also provided us with the analysis of what would happen if all the classes that they offer were filled during the year. And I think the total revenue for the city would be about $54,000. And I believe, while we have not allocated that, I'm sure that the district, particularly if the program is that successful, would be willing to support it, because the entire board was in favor of it and enthusiastically in favor of it. And we're hoping that there will be other things that we'll be able to do in the future as we step into some of these kinds of programs in the future. And we're just taking it a step at a time. And this is essentially our first step. So again, I'll try to answer questions if you have any.
Thanks, Mike. Council, any questions for Mr. Young before I turn it to Ms. Wendt and get her input? Okay, with no questions, we'll reserve opportunity maybe for more questions or comments after Ms. Wendt. Holly?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. What a wonderful opportunity for our pool, for our community that the health district is offering. And the timing couldn't be more beautiful. Because of COVID closure and our restriction, all of our lifeguards right now are certified swim instructors. So staffing is not an issue. We already have swim lessons because we were closed. It's such a priority in our reopening schedule. We've already got them built in based on what the community required or asked for. And we'll continue to engage the communities to see what their needs are with our surveys and working with the school district. So, you know, my staff report to City Council is just what a wonderful opportunity. And it's a really of no effort for city staff to track this information and get that information to the healthcare district. And meeting with them on Tuesday night was just a pleasure. Their values of wanting health and wellness in the community are the same, align with the city's, as well as, you know, creating opportunities for lifelong health and wellness for our entire community. So a beautiful opportunity to work together, and just very grateful for the healthcare district.
All right, thank you. Mr. Weir, anything that you would like to add?
No, just echo Holly's sentiments, and just, I was very pleased when Mr. Young contacted me and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And absolutely. So just excited to bring this opportunity to the council. And again, July 19th is kind of that earliest start date. We would get rolling right off the bat with advertising it, get signups going, and then we'll just see. We'll be tracking revenues. We'll be sending reports. If it looks like there's an increased demand, we might come back to the council and say, not only do we need to, request additional funds from the healthcare district, we might need to look at adding additional swimming lessons just in general to meet a demand like this.
Well, that'd be a good problem to have.
Yep.
So, all right, council, any questions or comments?
I just think that this is great, and thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mike, I appreciate the work of the healthcare district, and to have a kind of this new mindset of how do we engage our community for health. I commend you and the board for that, and certainly the city wants to be a good partner in being able to help you meet your goals, and when you meet your goals, we meet our goals, and our community is a better place. So this is awesome. I really appreciate it. Yes, Councilmember Altman.
I just wanted to thank Michael for spearheading this generous gesture. And as a young guy, I learned how to swim at the community pool in Stockton, California. And I've been an avid swimmer ever since. It's just a great workout. It really does promote getting out there and, getting your cardiovascular in. And
Yep.
I just think this is wonderful. It's actually a little perplexing to me that we have to vote on it, because I don't know who would vote against something so generous. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Better not. We better not. Huh? Okay. With that, then, do we have any public comment? All right. Not seeing any. Then what we are looking for is actually the approval of resolution 2021-38. I'll just make one typo correction. We have an extra 0 on the revenue increase. I don't think anybody would be confused by that, but if that comma was in a different place, it certainly would change the total number. Anyway, on the staff report, it says 5, and then it has 4 zeros behind it instead of 3. So we do need those numbers to match up. It would be, I would ask if somebody would, when they make the motion for the resolution, that they amend it to the correct dollar amount of 5,000 for revenue. All right, somebody want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number 2021-38, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Crescent City, amending the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget of the City of Crescent City with the amendment to the proper dollar amount that Mayor Pro Tem Einschler just mentioned.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, would you please pull the vote?
Yes. Councilmember Altman,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Inscore.
Yes. Mike, thanks so much. I almost feel bad that we're doing this at a special meeting where a lot of people are not going to hear about this, but I assure you the city in its promotions and in our next regular meeting will acknowledge the great partnership that we're forging with the healthcare district. So thank you very much. And please share our appreciations with the rest of the board.
I definitely will. And I'm looking forward to possibly other programs we can work together on in the future.
All right. Councilmember Smith, something?
Oh, I just was curious, Holly, this question's kind of for you. I should have asked it earlier, I guess. Will there be something at the pool so people know that that's available?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going on the radio to be able to promote it on the radio. We'll be getting it out on the internet. We'll be having it at our grand opening at the pool. We just needed this meeting and this moving forward for us to start getting the word out. But yeah, we're so excited to start letting people know.
Thank
Can
you.
we get, hey, Holly, can we, for the grand opening, can we get this on one of those, get Fritz to print it up on that great big slick paper? And can we maybe work with the healthcare district and get their logo and stuff on there so that clearly there's this understanding about this partnership?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Good work. Let's go ahead and move on. We have one last item. It is regarding.
Thank you much.
Thanks, Mike. The Cultural Center and a fee waiver request from LRT for the melodrama on the 4th of July. Ms. Wendt, you're going to take this?
Yeah, thank
All
you,
right.
Mayor Pro Tem and council members. To just talk about another opportunity that we haven't been able to have for a while because of COVID, Lighthouse Repertory Theater, which has been in our community for over 30 years, would like to put on a free melodrama with 2 showings, July 4th at the Cultural Center, free for the community. And since the closure of COVID, they haven't been able to do any performance, and it just seems like the most perfect time to support them and waive these fees because, you know, one of the big things in writing the grant for Prop 68, I had to do a lot of research, and arts are very important to the wellness of a community, arts and culture. So helping LRT get going again and promoting this and allowing it to be in the Cultural Center in the park where we hope we have many, many, many more performances to come. I just am really excited to bring this to you and hopefully get that fee waived for them so this can be a free event for the community and not have a lot of cost to this nonprofit who is doing this for the promotion of performing arts.
All right. Very good. Any questions for Ms. Wendt? Okay. And it is something that we have done in the past when we are always cognizant of whether or not there is a identifiable public benefit when we make these, and the fact that they are doing a free performance for the public certainly clearly makes that justification. And I'm just excited about well, I'm excited about 4th of July, number one. And having another thing happening with the 4th of July in the park, in the Cultural Center, I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, I think most of us, certainly, you know, Bo, you've been here your whole life. That's been the most underused building for year after year, it seems like. And I feel like we're right on the verge of seeing that thing become relevant again. And that's exciting to me. So.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You don't realize how much you miss Crescent City's 4th of July's until there isn't.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was one last year, but, you know, missing the parade and just it wasn't the same.
No.
So yeah, I'm really excited about 4th of July this year. Yeah. I mean, I am every year, but especially this year.
Especially this year. All right. Any other comments or questions? Any public comment? All right, seeing none then, I need a motion to waive the fees for the use of the Cultural Center by Lighthouse Repertory Theater on July 4th.
I'll make the motion to waive the fees for the use of the Cultural Center by the Lighthouse Repertory Theater, a nonprofit organization for rehearsals and 2 free performances on July 4th. Of a melodrama based on the finding that the waiver of fees is not a gift of public. I just totally read that wrong. Sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Public funds because supporting the event serves a public purpose by supporting the event that provides free community entertainment and arts. Sorry, my son is over here just making me laugh.
Speaking of free entertainment, huh? Oh my goodness. All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Robin, would you please pull the vote?
Councilmember Altman,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Enscore.
Yes, awesome. That is the end of our agenda. I mentioned before we went live that I made a quick appearance down at our first chamber mixer since before the pandemic, highlighting one of our newer businesses here, Stella Adventures in the harbor that does charter services, whale watching, fishing, and we're just excited to see new businesses. We're excited for our old businesses. Crescent City is open and hopping, and I'm just so thankful for the support of our local community. I had an opportunity to talk to some local business owners, and one of the things that I heard repeatedly in that 30 minutes that I got to be there is we are so glad that we're back open. But the second thing that I heard is we are so thankful for our locals who supported us for the last 15 months. I heard multiple businesses say, we're so thankful for our locals supporting us. And I think that says a lot about this community. And I was certainly touched by that. So anyway, Mr. Weir, anything for the good of the order that you'd like to share with us?
Well, just, city crews, you see them, out in force right now, getting ready for the 4th of July, making sure the park looks as good as we possibly can. And just like you say, a lot of excitement, a lot of pre-planning for the 4th of July, which is, it's always a lot of work. This year, you can just see everybody's glad to be doing it and glad to be talking about a parade and how it all works and fireworks and everything. So a lot of good things on that front. And just heads up for the council, we are also working hard on the RAISE grant application. So we'll have that for the council to ratify that application, because we're going to submit it on July 12th. So lots of good things on that, and that's for the second half of Front Street. So that'll come before the council on July 19th. So we are planning on canceling our July 6th meeting unless something else comes up that we have to take immediate action on.
All right. Anybody else have anything? Oh, go ahead.
Just have one other thing, Mayor Pro Tem, and that is to invite Chief Griffin. Chief contacted me before the meeting and did want to make a sort of a special announcement or an acknowledgement.
Good evening, City Council. Yeah, if I can share my screen real quick, I'll show you a picture that was taken last night. Does everybody see that there?
We got black.
It is?
It says your screen sharing, but I don't see anything. Does anybody else see anything?
My computer just froze a little bit.
Was the picture taken at night?
No, it was taken during briefing. It was technically nighttime. I'll just keep talking if it is. So we celebrated the graduation of Officer Lowe last night. He has served us as a school resource officer for 3 years, very well. He's made a lot of great relationships, and some people are going to be sad to see him leave, but he back at patrol and focus on some of his leadership there. So we are definitely looking forward to what he has to bring to us in the future, but very appreciative for what he's done over the last 3 years in that position. And he is leaving very big shoes to fill, although I think it's going to be a little hard for him to stay away completely. So we will be selecting, putting it out for a couple of weeks, but then selecting a new school resource officer very soon. So wanted to make sure you guys knew about that.
Well, so that if the council didn't see it, let me share the picture.
There you go.
So I like the fact that Lieutenant Kai is kicking back, waiting for some cake, looks like to me.
We did try to get him to do a dance video like a lot of school resource officers do, and the best we got was a pretty good impromptu speech from him. So we're glad.
If you got a speech out of Officer Lowe, then you did well, because he's a man of few words, but certainly a valued member, not only of our police department, but a valued member of our community. And so thank you for sharing that with us tonight, Chief. I saw it on Facebook, and I thought that was really special. So glad that you shared that with us and with our community. And we look forward to whoever's going to step into that role. It's obviously it's a it's a very important role in our community, and it's an important role in the times that we live in. And again, this council has been very supportive, obviously, of our police department and specifically of your leadership. But that becomes that front line for this next generation of leaders. And so we are very appreciative, Chief, of your leadership, of Officer Lowe, and we know that whoever steps into that role is gonna follow his lead. So thank you, sir.
Makes it very easy when you have good people that you're working with and serving. So I'm very honored to work with them and serve next to them. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Weir, for making sure that we had that opportunity. Anything else? All right, council, thank you so much for joining us this evening for this short meeting. Short but important stuff that we got done tonight. And I guess we won't see each other until after the 4th, but hopefully we'll all see each other around the 4th, and that Crescent City has the time of its life, but a safe time. And just as a reminder to the public who may watch this or might be watching on YouTube, we have enacted some new guidelines regarding beach fires. I certainly would encourage you to go to the city website to make sure that you are aware of what those are in the areas from the Vista area at Battery Point all the way to Preston Island. And with that, we will stand. Yes, Councilmember Smith.
Yeah, I do got something, and I meant to say something last meeting, but it was it was fixing to be a long one, so I didn't. So Chief Griffin, are you still on there? Hopefully he is. So at Redwood graduation, we got to see our local law enforcement in action. Martha was there. She remembers. They did a good job. All the law enforcement agencies here in Delaware County did a great job with that. And I, our PD shined, I thought, through that whole thing. I know you were out of town, but anyways, I just wanted to for everybody to know that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Steve.
Thank you, Councilmember Smith. Yeah, the best part about that was I was out of town and nobody knew it throughout. So leadership was great from start to finish. That's the best I could ask for. Training kicked in, and so I'll be coming back to the city council here probably pretty soon with some accommodations for that, because it definitely is deserving. So yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for highlighting that. Thanks, Councilmember Smith. All right. Well, then, unless we call a special meeting between now and then, we will stand adjourned until July 19th, which would be the next regularly scheduled meeting at this point in time. If, in fact, we schedule a meeting between now and then, we will certainly do public noticing to make sure that everyone knows. So with that, good night, everybody.